Yeah.
Good.
Heather?
We had my tea guy here.
I don't. I'll wait for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Brian's on. How about Wiltsey?
Ryan's on. I don't have Dave.
Okay. All right.
Hale. I've set Halen at the house.
On time to come. Evening, everybody. I'd like to call the Thursday, May 15th, Boone County Board meeting to order at 6:30 PM. Trying to speak a little louder here. It looks like we're going to have to compete with Mother Nature a little bit. So it asks that we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for a quick invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, we humbly come before you this evening as servants of you and our community. We ask that you guide us and lead us down a path that's pleasurable to our residents, to you. We work together for the betterment of our community, and that we take our personal vendettas or ideas out of it and only work for those around us. We ask that you be with all our men and women who serve this great country overseas, here, be with our first responders. Please ensure that they all get to go home this evening to their families, much like we will. In your name we pray. Amen. Roll call, please.
Carl Johnson,
Here.
Josh Shoemaker,
Here.
Brian Schneider, David Wiltsey,
No Dave.
Ryan Curry,
Here.
Alyssa Patterson. Here. Tom Wahlberg,
Here.
Rodney Riley.
Here.
Matt Regano.
Here.
Dana Logston. Marion Thornberry.
Here.
Okay,
All right, we do have Mr. Curry is online. I'd ask for a motion to approve Mr. Curry to join us remotely. Motion by Mr. Wahlberg, seconded by Mr. Thornberry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. At some point, Mr. Wiltsey may join us, and he's also asked to do the same, so we'll address that if he shows up.
I think I have.
I'm sorry?
I think I have him.
You have Mr. Wiltsey now?
Sir.
Dave?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
In that
here.
case, then I'd ask for a motion to allow Mr. Wiltsey to join us remotely. Motion by Mr. Regano, seconded by Mr. Shoemaker. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Welcome, Mr. Curry and Mr. Wiltsey.
Thank you.
Before we get too far here, just so everybody knows, we are having some connection issues and we are not able to go live on YouTube currently, but this meeting will be posted as soon as possible after the meeting. So just a little technical glitch, I guess. Next, we have the agenda. I would ask to amend the agenda. I'd like to move items 10.3 and 10.4 up to 9.2.1 and 9.2.2. I have a motion to amend the agenda like that. Motion by Mr. Did I see a hand? Thought I did. Is there a motion? Can I get a motion to amend the agenda? Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second? By Mr. Regano. Any discussion on that amendment?
Yes.
Mr. Riley?
I was just wondering why I was actually going to ask to amend it as well, because I think we need to get, from what we talked about before, we need to get the ordinance for the licensing first before we change the text amendment, correct? Didn't we discuss that once or a couple times or back and forth?
doesn't necessarily have to go in that particular order. But so if you went with licensing first and didn't pass the ordinance, there would be a license portion in there that didn't find anything. If you pass the ordinance first, and then didn't pass the licensing, you could still pass the licensing at some point as well. So I don't know if there necessarily has to be a particular order.
Did we have a second?
Mr. Chairman,
Did we have a second on that?
I don't think so.
second.
So a second by Mr. Wiltsey. Okay. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Wiltsey.
Yeah. Well, my whole point of this all along has been to have the license first, because we know we're going to pass the zoning ordinance, and that's the process I wanted to have, and that's the process which is developed, and I'm very pleased with the staff has worked very hard on this. I put some time into it, and I would like to get the license passed. We're going to pass the zoning amendment. I'd like to get the license passed.
Okay, Mr. Wiltsey, are you saying you'd like to do the license before the text amendment?
Yes, I really would, if possible.
Okay. We can do that. We can do that. We can change, I'll Mr. Wahlberg, will you withdraw your motion?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do that. We'll move, let's move 10.3 to 9.1.5. And then let's move 10.4 to 9.2.5. Hopefully I remember that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just having some connectivity issues
So
with the storm
that's a
rolling
motion.
through.
Is that a motion by Mr. Wiltsey? Is there a second?
Sorry.
By Mr. Riley. Any discussion on the amendment to the agenda? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd accept a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
We'll move.
Motion by Mr. Riley, second by Mr. Regano. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve the April 17th County Board meeting minutes. By Mr. Thornberry, seconded by Mr. Regano. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. This evening, we have several appointments. Oops, I'm almost clearing everything out of my computer here. On the appointment list, I believe most of them are reappointments. I think the only new appointment is Sherry Gieske. You might have heard that name before. She just got off one board and she is gracious here to fill a vacancy in Cape and Rescue. I've tried to get her to do other boards, but she only wants to do one at a time. So, Sherry, thank you for being willing to step up, and for all those who are willing to stay and continue to step up in those positions. I truly appreciate that. So I'd ask for a motion to approve the appointments as presented.
So move.
Motion by Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Thornberry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That motion carries. Is there anybody that would like to say anything?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a special guest here with us this evening. Mr. Ray Larson, could I get you to come up here a little bit? Ray served on this board with many of us for quite a long time. In fact, from December of 2014 till just recently here in 2025. And it's tradition to kind of honor board members when they leave this fantastic board. Sometimes it's freedom, sometimes it's disappointing or whatever to have them leave. And certainly disappointed to have you leave us, Ray, but we understand why you did. I'd like to present this plaque to you. I'll read it quick. It says Boone County Board District 1, Raymond Larson, December 1st, 2014 to February 13th, 2025. Thank you for your dedication and service to the citizens of Boone County. Ray, thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you, Chairman.
Would you like to? Couple words?
Yeah, I'll just be brief. You got a large agenda here for the evening here, so just wanted to say it's been a pleasure serving the people of Boone County. And I've been very honored to do so over the years here. And as Mr. Johnson said, I'll be serving the people in a different capacity now, but I really enjoy helping the public and helping our society move forward to the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman?
Carl, we have Dave.
Go ahead, Mr. Wiltsey.
Ray, I'm very sorry that I'm not there personally to see you take this plaque. I enjoyed serving next to you, and I thank you for all your hard good work on behalf of the citizens of Boone County.
Thank you, Mr. Wiltsey.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Ray, I just want to echo what Dave Wiltsey said is it was great serving next to you for those years, and knowing that you and I could disagree on things and have good conversations. We some tough subjects, and we didn't always see eye to eye with things, but we never took it to a level that was inappropriate. It was always just good debate, and whatever was said in that room stayed there, and it was always with the best interests of the community. So I appreciate that and your professionalism and everything that you taught me. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Curry.
Thank you, Mr. Curry. Anyone else? Ms. Patterson.
Just really quickly, I wanted to say thank you and just really good luck in all of your future endeavors. We appreciate your time, but certainly it's a new chapter, so we want all the best for you.
Thank you. Mr. Riley?
Ray, thanks much for all your help last couple of years when you served as my chairman of the administrative committee. You did a fantastic job. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. All right. Thank you very much. Next up, we have a proclamation for Economic Development Week. Proclamation, easy for me to say. I'd like to read this proclamation. I thought I had a copy of it here, but I don't know what I did with it. So I'm sorry, Pam, I don't have it at hand to you. Whereas more than 100,000 economic development or related professionals worldwide are committed to creating, retaining, and expanding top-tier opportunities that facilitate long-term, equitable community growth. And whereas the economic development profession cultivates thriving neighborhoods, champions sustainability and resiliency, boosts economic prosperity, enhances the quality of life, and builds robust tax bases. And whereas economic development professionals operate throughout diverse economic environments, including rural, suburban, and urban settings, local, state, provincial, and national governments, public-private partnerships, chambers of commerce, institutions of higher education, among many similar organizations and associations. And whereas economic development professionals serve as stewards, bridging connections between community stakeholders such as residents, business leaders, elected officials, industry executives, and educational administrations to collaborate in promoting job creation, community investment, infrastructure advancements, and an optimistic future. And whereas economic developers contribute to the betterment and progress of Boone County within the state of Illinois, United States of America, whereas since 1979, Growth Dimensions Economic Development has been a leader and driving force in advancing economic development initiatives with a steadfast commitment to fostering growth and prosperity in communities of all sizes worldwide through equity, inclusion, sustainability, resiliency, and innovation. And now therefore be it resolved that the Boone County, Illinois recognizes Growth Dimensions Economic Development Week and remind individuals of the importance of this community celebration, which supports expanding opportunities, bettering lives, and moving society forward. Thank you very much, Pam, for all your hard work with Growth Dimensions. We'll get that signed and get that over to you. All right, thank you. Next up, public comment. I have one sheet for Mr. Stephen Bank. I'd ask that you please State your name and address for the record, and then you'll have your 3 minutes.
My name is Stephen Bank. I live at 405 Cloud Mist Drive, Capron. I'm the village president in Capron. I'm here to talk about the rodeo that just happened recently on Capron Road. I don't know how many of you have been around that rodeo when it operates. It's a real pain in the butt, okay? I have to listen to it all day and into the night. I can hear it in my basement. My understanding is that at last event, the sheriff even issued 4 citations for animal cruelty. I don't see where there is a place for this in our county. I understand that it's a tradition, but so is bullfighting, dog fighting, cockfighting. We don't allow any of that in our county. I just feel that the village is being held as collateral damage because we have to listen to all this noise. I can't sit on my back deck. I can't have anybody over to enjoy my backyard because we have to listen to all the noise that is coming from this rodeo. I live about a mile away from it, but I can see the grandstands from my house across the cornfields. And there's nothing in between it and us. And it's getting to be a real pain. We've had their animals running through town. They've had to come and corral them on more than one occasion. And I just feel that this is a stain on our community, and I would wish that you could find a way to make it stop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other public comment? Seeing none. Ask for a motion to approve the general consent items. Move. Motion by Mr. Riley, second by Mr. Regano. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Reports from agencies, Council on Aging.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Ms. Patterson.
So they have 2 new buses that should be arriving anytime, which is super exciting. And then they should be getting 3 more buses next week. So they've got a lot of stuff going on over there. I was unable to make the last meeting, but Graham Spencer did a presentation. They're going to be handling the website brand launching. They have a photographer coming in, just to make sure that everything about the website is very professional. And just to add the mission of the Boone County Council on Aging is outreach. And one of the things, I just want to give you a number. In 2024, they had 2,663 unique individuals. They offer so many things in our community. 2 of the biggest things are open enrollment for Medicare. It's super confusing. If you don't hit your dates, you can be, stuck paying a lot more money than you would if you could have gotten there, and gotten everything done correctly. In one of the instances, I know somebody was paying like an extra $600 a month. When you're on a fixed income, $600 a month is huge. And another thing that they do is help with taxes, making sure people have their senior exemptions and senior freezes. Those are only 2 monetary examples of things that they do in addition to the activities that they do. If people aren't aware of the Boone County Council on Aging, and I realize YouTube isn't working right now, it's a great facility. They would take you around any time. They also just do a great job of making sure that people that are there have their own little community. There's lots of activities for them to do, even within the building, that don't even have anything to do with Medicare taxes or anything like that. It's cards and pool and just the socialization that sometimes people, when they are of a certain age, just start to lose. They lose loved ones and whatnot. So with that, we have our golf outing tomorrow. So we're hoping to raise a ton of money. It's something I usually talk about every single time, but now it is here, and I will be happy to give you hopefully a very glowing report on the amount of money that we were able to raise to help them out next month.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Patterson? Okay. Growth dimensions. Yeah.
First, I want to say thank you very much for the proclamation. It's been a wonderful week to highlight all the things that economic development does and who we are and trying to help educate. And part of that is going to be in the future, we're going to be doing a little bit of podcasting from some of the local, people who do podcasts. And we're also going to do some little bits and pieces and really telling our story. And that when I talk about our story, it's not growth dimension story. It's really a story about our community. And we really want to highlight some of the wonderful aspects of our region. But I want to kind of share you briefly because I know you have a full agenda. We have and I apologize if I break this up. It's a Kosu truck service. They have purchased some land and now they're going to be building a building. That's like a $500,000 investment. We also have had Southtown Ventures has been working on infrastructure plans to separate some of the water and sewer to each of the buildings, and that's going to be starting this year. Working with a potential opportunity for luxury homes in Boone County, luxury mobile homes, I should say, in Boone County. And we've also been working with a lot of renewable energy projects as well. We have all may have heard that Stellantis is maybe have plans to the new plans to expand are withdrawn, but they're still moving forward with investing into the new plant. This is a reduction of jobs and a reduction of investment, but we're going to be meeting with them in a couple of weeks in order to talk about and confirm what their future plans are. Also to talk about the Automotive Innovation Network, which will help us position us in a really good, place as a region to make sure that we're addressing some of their needs, being more responsive, so we don't get into a situation where we're idled in the future. Some of the other things we've been involved with, staff had mega presence at the Enterprise Zone and TIF District Conference. Learned a lot of good information. There's a lot of good takeaways. There's some proposed changes to the historic tax credits that we're evaluating. We're also looking at new funding opportunities through the River Edge Development District. Some of these funding streams are becoming a little bit more flexible, so we're looking into them a little deeper and seeing if we would be in a good position to apply. And there's also this jobber grant that's available for home businesses. So we've been reaching out to some of these businesses and letting them know about it. It is a competitive grant, but awards can be up to 10,000 and to be awarded in 2025. We've also been presenting to young professionals, leadership class, and then we also submitted some applications for the International Economic Development Awards, creating some surveys in order to gauge, and we have already drafted one to gauge how the changes in funding and tariffs are affecting our businesses. And we're also being present on Region 1 Planning Council's Advisor Committee for their data, which we're going to be looking at regional data. It's a regional data advisory group looking at governing, developing, and facilitating regional data collaboration. So I just wanted to kind of highlight a couple of things where as far as our website data, we've been very active, but some of the international engagement, other countries have been less, basically it's been kind of flat, even though it's increased a little bit. It's been a little bit more closer to flat this last month. And again, this probably is a result of what's going on at a national level. So we're not getting as many interest in other countries into the US as we have seen in the past. And also wanted to highlight that our investor and volunteer recognition is going to be on June 12th before your meetings. And August 28th, we're going to have our annual reception. So we've already secured our speaker.
Wonderful. Questions for mentions? Mr. Riley?
Just a quick comment, Pam. Your bullet points here, the Stellantis project. I think it's fantastic. A lot of the meetings that I went to over the last couple of years, some of you were there, some of you weren't. In meeting with the deputy governor, I was always very vocal that EV 100% was never going to work in Northern Illinois, never going to work in Belvedere. It would have been a huge, I think disappointment in the long run with all those funds that were going to be expended. So it sounds like they're looking at and this is public knowledge, that they're looking at a small pickup. It's going to be gas powered. It's going to put some people back to work, maybe not as many as we hoped, but I think it's in for the long run. So I think we all are going to win big time on that one. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. And as we mentioned, some of this work has been happening since 2021. So this is not something that's new. This has been a lot of work by a lot of parties, a lot of partners throughout this area, this region, our state, and appreciate everyone's support as we move forward.
So anything else for growth mentions? All right, thank you, Pam.
Thank you. Thank you.
Asa, Mr. Curry, do you have anything?
I do not, Mr. Chairman, I was not able to make the meeting this week, so I apologize.
Nope, not a problem. R1, we had a meeting today. It was kind of a quick meeting, just kind of approving some budgets and going over some stuff like that. We had a little bit of a presentation on federal grants and just opportunities that are out there. So those are things that Growth Dimensions is aware of. So they'll certainly steer anybody we have that we can get to those accesses, but not a ton of stuff going on at the moment with R1. So kind of a summer lull, if you will. All right, new business. You know what? I think we did this a little wrong. So if the state's attorney will let me, I'm going to go with the intent of how we had amended the agenda, because I misappropriated it. I think I put 10.3 at 9.1.5, and it should be at 9.0. Because everybody wanted to do the
Right. Licensing first.
Yeah, the licensing above that. So can we adjust that? Are you
I'm fine.
good with that?
I
Okay.
think that's what the motion was.
Wrong number. It was just wrong number.
Yes.
I wasn't good at math, sorry. So, okay, so let's go to 9.0, which is 10.3. I would ask for a motion to approve ordinance 25-07, licensed short-term vacation rentals. Motion by Mr. Shoemaker. Is there a second?
Dave Wiltsey, second.
Second by Mr. Wahlberg. Discussion. Mr. Riley.
Not so much on just this one, but I guess this whole thing in general. I'm still having issues with enforcement. We just heard a gentleman speak again tonight. Not necessarily relating the two together, but it just seems to me like we've got enforcement issues. We already have on the books. We already have things that are making it difficult. We're taxing our enforcement issues at this point, and I just can't get comfortable with this until I know we've done the work we need to do. I even noticed some of the changes that I had asked for there. I appreciate that. In good conscience, though, I just can't vote for this. So I'll be voting no. Thank you.
Mr. Wahlberg.
Mr. Chairman, it seemed like in the previous document that there was, am I misreading this? There was 8 license available. This does say 5 here, correct?
Correct. That was a change from the committee meeting.
I don't think that was ever voted on.
I don't.
I thought that was the suggestion. I think that's what staff thought it was.
No, that was never a vote or anything like that.
I don't know.
Would you like to amend that, Mr. Wahlberg?
Yeah, I would amend that to be 8. I'm sorry. I can make an amendment for that to take that back to 8 license like we had talked about in the meeting.
So a motion by Mr. Wahlberg to amend the number of licenses to 8. Is there a second?
Second.
Shoemaker? Discussion. Seeing none, just because we have people online, let's do a roll call on that amendment, if we could, please.
I had a comment, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Curry.
I just, this has kind of gotten heated in the past because of, I feel it's important I would just stress that a lot of people have stated, I've not stayed in one of these, therefore I'm voting no. And I've heard that a couple times. I'm just not understanding quite a bit. And I hope everybody's done their research on them. I know I have. I've stayed in them a lot of times. I'm staying in one right now, and they don't hurt a community. They benefit a community. We have no place to stay for residents. I think we've put the regulations on there. I do agree with Mr. Riley. We do need to figure out enforcement on these, just like the others. And I know that we have that in place to where we can meet, because we have to develop a chain of command and find out who's going to do this. I don't think that that's something that holds up now. I think that's something we can put in place here, next week or the week following or next meeting. But I agree with Rod. I think we do need to find out who's going to enforce this and how, because too many questions are on that. But I don't feel that's a reason to hold this up now. And I really hope that it passes, because I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing for our community. So.
Okay. Any other discussion on the amendment to go to 8?
Chairman.
Mr. Riley?
Let him go first.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Wiltsey, go ahead.
Thank you. Again, kind of on the broader scope of this whole thing. My concern when I voted no the first time wasn't necessarily the use itself, but the restrictions and licensing that could be put in place for the use. I think that this can be done right. I have sent a couple of notes to the state's attorney. They have adopted most of what I've said. They've explained why they don't want to change the time frames for appeal and the hearings and stuff. And I understand that, and I agree with that. But I mean, this whole thing was all about, we got stuck behind the state statute that's forced us to vote on the ZBA recommendation when some of us were quite uncomfortable because subject to a license just wasn't enough. And as this is developing, I think it's developing well. And if the enforcement is the issue, that's an administrative issue that I know the administration will look at very carefully. So I'm in favor of this. Thank you.
Mr. Riley, did you have anything?
No, just,
Okay.
again, moving it from 5 to 8 again, just it reiterates my concern, and yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Roll call, please. A yes would move it to 8 from the 5 that's on the document. Okay, roll call, please.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Yes.
Ronnie Riley,
No,
Matt Regano,
No.
Marion Thornberry,
No.
Carl Johnson.
Yes. That motion carries.
Yes.
Next, we have the license as amended. Any further discussion on the license as amended? Hearing none, roll call, please.
I'm doing just a basic roll call, or is it to vote?
Yeah, this is a roll call to vote. A yes would approve the licensing for the short-term rentals.
Okay, clarification. David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
no,
Matt Regano,
No.
Marion Thornberry,
No.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker.
yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have a motion to approve ordinance. Oh, let me get this right. A motion to approve ordinance 25-06 text amendment TA 032025 vacation rental A1. Have a motion to approve that. Does anybody want to make that motion?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Curry,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Shoemaker. This is a text amendment to approve allowing short-term rentals in A1 district. Can we have a staff report real quick?
Sure.
I surprised you there, sorry.
This was, applied for a couple months ago and, heard by the zoning board of appeals. The text is presented, the definition for short-term rental, vacation rental as a permitted use subject to being 5 acres or more, and subject to licensing. The applicant is in the audience as well as the attorney if there's any questions.
Okay, is there any questions for staff? Mr. Wilbur?
Jessica, just for clarification, where is that minimum? I'm sorry, I did not see that.
Sure,
I mean, it was in there and I.
It's in the ordinance right there behind you, under clarifying conditions.
Right here,
Oh, yeah.
outside of
Yeah, thank you.
That's, oh, good, yeah.
it does, yeah.
You spelled out 5, I just can't read 5.
Right.
Okay, super. All right, the applicant is here. Would the applicant like to say anything?
Ready to say my name?
Yes, please, your name and address for the record.
Jared Winkleman, 1005 South Home Avenue, Park Ridge, Illinois. First of all, I guess, sorry for opening this can of worms, for all of you. But I appreciate the amount of work that everybody's done on this project for the last couple of months. I know a lot of people spent a lot of time thinking about it. And I just want to express my appreciation for just the effort, regardless of the votes, just the effort and thinking about it. I don't really want to say a whole lot more about all of the issues. I think we've discussed most of them, but your concern that you've expressed, Mr. Riley, I know this isn't about us necessarily, but I think make a lot of assurances that you're not going to get the same type of continued contentiousness, at least from our property, assuming we are one of the people that get one of the licenses. So again, just thank you. And I can answer any questions also.
Any questions for the applicant? Okay,
Attorney Jim Hurst, 2601 Reed Farm Road, Geyer Ninekin over in Rockford, live here in Boone County. First of all, let me apologize for my appearance tonight. I generally don't show up in jeans and cowboy boots, but I had a medical procedure earlier today. So it's not out of disrespect for the board or lack of respect for the board. Just quite frankly, I can tell I'm coming out of my anesthesia. So I'm starting to feel it. So I apologize for that. But we do want to say thank you for reconsideration. Appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you. Any further comments from the board? Mr. Riley?
Just one, I think, he's not here tonight. I think Mr. Logston had mentioned this a couple of meetings ago. I'm sorry, not for you guys. I just wanted to reiterate for the record that no one on this board has property that they're at this present time are using for this type of permitting or in the future. Okay, it was asked before. I just thought I'd bring it up again. All right, thank you.
So I wish I had 5 acres.
There you go. Yep.
I have a comment to that.
Go ahead, Mr. Curry.
I feel like because someone's passionate about something, like this is why they feel that it's trying to get pushed through as some kind of backdoor investment. Any of you, if you get 5 acres and want to do this, can. It doesn't matter what they say or what they ask. You're not limited to. This isn't something that you should push through for your own personal interest. I understand the hesitancy, but I have no plans to ever do this, nor does anybody that I know. It was simply because I listened to the applicant and understood the situation. But in the future, Carl or Tom or Matt Regano, if you guys have 5 acres and want to do this and apply for it legally, that's your right. You pay taxes here.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Curry. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please. Yes, we'll approve the text amendment. A no, we'll vote against it.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
No.
Matt Regano.
No.
Clark, thank you. Marion Thornberry,
No.
Carl Johnson,
Yes.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Yes.
Ryan Curry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Takes care of that one. That one. No, not that one. That one. No. Okay, so next up is actually 10.4. I would ask for a motion to approve ordinance 25-08 hotel motel tax. Is there a motion for that? Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second? By
Second.
Mr. Shoemaker. Thank you very much. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We can do a voice vote on this, can't we?
You can, but if anyone wants to do a.
We can do a roll call if
we
you
can do a
want.
Roll call.
Would you prefer a roll call?
It's just what I just wasn't expecting that.
Okay, let's do a roll call so we can keep Ms. Patterson on.
Happy, yeah.
Let's do a
Okay.
roll call,
All right.
please.
Okay. Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
Aye.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. What do we got here now? 9.2. All right. I'd ask for a motion to approve ordinance 25-10, amending the Boone County fee schedule. Does anybody want to make that motion?
And two, you said?
We're on 9.2.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Curry. Motion by Mr. Curry. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wiltsey. Discussion. Mr. Riley.
Didn't we talk about, Tom, remind me, didn't we talk about this at the meeting before, about the fee schedule? 500, is that right?
Yeah, we did.
I thought we were looking at upping the,
So.
for the annual.
Yeah, the annual was, I think this is correct. The annual was 500 and the initial, I'm not sure of your language here a little bit. Jessica, could you want to clarify
Yeah,
that?
Yes.
we changed something, Jesse. I can't,
So originally we had proposed an annual fee and the initial fee, and the initial fee was less. And Mr. Wahlberg and the board had decided that the annual fee and the initial fee together and a one-time in the first would be $1,000 total, so 500 each, and then every year after would be then $500. And that's what this is indicating.
Okay, Mr. Riley.
and 500 was where we had it in the beginning, correct? For the annual.
Yeah, annual was always 500. Yes.
I thought I had it in my notes.
The initial and the annual was less.
I think it was.
Less of an inspection. That's.
Yeah, I think it was less. The word that's confusing is that the way it's stated here is it's license application fee. So the word initial is not is missing, which is just, that's what it is. It's so
Right.
I think it's just we're thinking we've heard it as one way and it's stated differently. So it's fine the way it's stated, but it was just
Word.
calibrating what I heard and what I was reading was different. So I think the initial or I keep saying that word, the application fee is 500 and the annual fee, annual license fee is 500. So
I get it.
your first year, it's $1,000. I think that's what the sum of the parts are. So.
Okay. I do have a question. One of the things we talked about is that this first year $1,000 fee would cover any and all fees. Did we clarify that so that they're not gonna go to the health department or this department? So we're good. It's one fee.
Treasurer's office, and we clarified that.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah, I don't know if that needs to, Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry, excuse me.
Oh, go ahead, Mr. Waldman.
That was another thing that I was going to bring up. Like, does there need to be a parentheses there that states that this application fee is all inclusive? Or, I mean,
I guess if we all weren't here, maybe, I don't know, Tricia.
It was, written to the point that was effective of what our intention was.
Okay, as long as state's attorney is comfortable that, I just don't want applicants to go, what? I've got to pay another $50 here or $100 there.
Or any.
This $1,000 up front covers all the fees they need, and the $500 annual fee covers all the fees they need. So they're not going to get nickel and dimed.
We can put inclusive in there somewhere if you'd like. That makes it more clear. All inclusive fee. I don't.
I'm just hesitant because what if an outside agent, like this is the county's portion, what if the fire department charges them something and then they come back and try and say like it's inclusive?
Right.
We have no control over.
Thank you.
Fire inspection. Well, I guess.
You know what I mean? Like outside.
So I would say county departments, the health department, health building, those inspections, fire department, or even if we say excluding any fire department fees.
But I don't know. That was just an example.
Can't speak for
Right. There could be things that unforeseen consequences.
Yep.
So I think I think we're comfortable that it's $500 for the county. And if we need to amend it at a later date, if there's some issue that we don't see, we can always bring it back.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that.
In my opinion.
Mr. Thornberry?
We keep saying all that stuff. All we're doing is making the muddy water muddier. It would be a whole lot simpler just to say the initial fee will be $1,000, which will cover, we're on the lost now, which will cover the fee and the application. And every year after that, you will have a $500 renewal fee. No ifs, ands, what, fors, or how come. You can't control anything other than what we can control. Fire departments are fire departments.
Right.
So just make it simple. You don't have to put in the if, ands, what, fors, and how comes. All you have to do is say the $1,000 covers, and then the initial $1,000 will cover the license and the
application and the license.
Yeah, applications and the license. And every year after that will be a $500 renewal fee.
So it's been State's attorney.
I think it's clear the way that it is, and that what happens then when someone has to reapply, because that's what the application fee is the application.
So you're saying if they lose
Yes.
their license or whatever, so it's
Yes.
not their first application, it's just
Right.
they have to reapply. Okay. All right, I'm okay with that. We'll see how it goes. Mr. Riley?
One more thing. I don't know how we do our fee schedule, Tricia. Would this be like somebody applies for, like liquor licenses are always usually at a certain time. And if you want to open a bar a month before the liquor license is due, too bad, you got to pay the whole year.
It's rolling.
Is this prorated?
So it's rolling. So,
Okay.
Whenever their renewal's up, then they pay that 500.
Okay.
It's not like.
Not a set January. Okay. That's fine.
Which is, the reason the liquor code is like that is because it's a statute.
I understand. No, I know that. Yeah. That's why I use it as an example, because I knew there was a reason we did it that way. Okay. All right. Good enough. Thank you.
All right, anything further?
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Welty.
Thank you. Briefly, I agree with the trend of the discussion, and it's clear in the ordinance that this doesn't, as you pointed out at the very beginning of this, Mr. Chairman, it doesn't run with the land. And if someone is new to that property and they are not a previous applicant, they have to file the new application fee of $500 and pay the annual fee of $500. And if that's not clear, it should be clear, but that's the legislative intent. is it's only a one-time thing for an applicant. But if there's a new applicant because there's been a transfer of ownership or whatever, they have to pay the application fee and the first year licensing, 500 and 500.
Okay, thank you. All right, any further questions or discussion?
If the minutes could reflect that, that would be helpful for legislative intent. Thank
Okay,
you, Mr. Chairman.
thank you. All right. Let's do a roll call, please.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
Aye.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Aye.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, I would ask for a motion to approve the change orders for the courthouse construction project in the amount of $180,288.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Regano. Discussion, Mr. Saavedra.
Good evening, everyone. So last meeting, I briefly touched on, there's a number of change orders for
You have to have you introduce yourself.
that are ongoing. Tonight, we're asking,
Can I interrupt you a second? I need you
Yes.
to introduce yourself just for the record.
I'm sorry. Yes, thanks, Chairman. Yeah, Randy Darnell with CCS.
Thank you, sir.
So last meeting, we briefly touched on, there was a number of change order issues on the courthouse project. Tonight, we're bringing those to you for your approval. The architect is here to answer any questions and provide an overall explanation on a number of these. And the ones that we're bringing tonight are all of a critical nature that require approval, or there can be some fallout on the schedule. So with that, I'll let Dan.
Yeah, hello. I'm Dan Saavedra for Saavedra Group Architects. I think all of you received our narrative and the explanation of the change orders that we have. What we are giving here is it is important to know that when we deal with buildings as the two buildings that we are dealing with, situations like these are going to occur. Unforeseen conditions are going to occur. So the good note here is that in the construction documents and in the contract with Scandrolli, you already have $125,000 contingency that was included in the base bid. We knew that these things were going to come because when we open all walls, we find things that we don't like to find. So the change orders that we are presenting today, you have the list at the end of the summary that we did, and is a total of $180,288 we are recommending to use the $125,000 in its entirety. So the net change order is $55,288. One item to point out is change order PCO number 12. When we were doing the removal of the bathrooms, we were thinking that was only the plumbing of the bathrooms that was concealed inside of that wall. We did not do any invasive demolition when we did our survey. So what we found was that there is a lot more plumbing different than the bathrooms that is in those walls. So when the contractor provided a PCO for $35,177, we said, wait a minute, we need to find a different way to do this. So we are relocating, reducing the attorney conference room a little bit, relocating and reassigning the corridor so we don't have to move those pipings. This has to be confirmed by the contractor. I am pretty sure that we can do this. So if that is the case, I reduced that one in the interest of time and the approvals here. I reduced that one to 5,177. It's very possible that even that 5,177 will go away. But I wanted to put it here. And if we need to make changes and modifications, we can do it next month. But I would like to receive the approval of this so we don't delay the project. Any questions?
Questions for Mr. Saavedra?
I have one.
Mr. Regano?
Since this process started, we knew what we were getting into, old buildings and stuff there. So.
Mr. Regano, can I get you to just use your microphone just so it gets recorded real well? Just make sure.
Hello.
There we go. Thank you.
Better?
Yep.
No, I was just saying that is this going to continue on as in the future? You have to come up with another problem, then we're going to have to change things again or?
We have basically discovered what we believe is the big bulk of this, but we still have some walls that we have not touched yet. So I hope we are not going to encounter that, but I cannot guarantee that.
Okay. Thanks for that and good luck with everything.
Yeah. And for your information, all of the redesign that we have done for these change orders, although we are entitled to charge additional fees for that, we are not doing it. You are not receiving a bill for that, for our services for that.
Okay.
Further questions for Mr. Saavedra? Thank you very much. Randy, anything else to add?
Other than in your packet, you also have an executive budget summary, which shows the fund balance right now, which is our project contingency, and that's at 226,200. I've deducted from that the building permit fee, which was not in the original pro forma, which is $211,000. So we still have over $200,000 to complete the project. May not be enough, but we'll continue to work on it. But just be mindful that there's an additional $200,000 that came out of the project contingency. So
keep your fingers crossed, please.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Any other questions? Seeing none. Roll call, please, to approve the change orders.
Okay. Ronnie Riley,
Yes.
Matt Regano,
Yes.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg.
Motion passes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, comprehensive plan update. Jessica.
Yes, so we have our consultants here today. I've asked them to give the board an update on the progress of the comprehensive plan, as well as really zeroing in on the recommendations and proposals for the actual land use proposed, future land use maps. Go ahead.
Great. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, board, for having us present to you tonight. My name is Todd Benadalak. I'm an urban planning consultant, Egert and Knox Planning based in Chicago. Do you need my full address or just, is that good? With me is Mim Evans. So the consultant team that we are helping your staff with, NIU, Northern Illinois University's Center for Governmental Studies is leading the project. I'm providing urban planning consulting The comprehensive plan is being conducted in conjunction with updating your UDO or creating a UDO, Unified Development Ordinance, that covers your zoning and subdivision standards for the county. So we're doing that with another consultant named Jacob Side. And then our fourth partner is Stephanie Brown from Chastain Engineering in Central Illinois. So, but from the presentation we have here is just to provide you an update. We've been conducting this process for the past 8 or 9 months. So we're nearing the final phase of creating the document. The one thing that we wanted to share with you is the land use plan, because that's usually the one thing that people tend to look at when they look at your comprehensive plan. So I'll go through that process with you. So on this slide about project engagement, just on the right side, you'll see a project timeline where, again, you can see at the fourth step is document preparation with that green star. So that's where we're at right now. And then after that, once we complete the draft plan, we'll present it to your regional planning commission, we'll present it to staff and the task force that really helped us put together this plan. And then once that is all reviewed by all the appropriate people, then we'll present it to you as a board for approval. Looking for, I think, late summer. Is that right? Yeah. And then on the left-hand side of that slide, you can just see different points of engagement that we had throughout the process to engage your community. So again, we had a task force made up of different community members and people actually on this board as well, which we really appreciate their input. We had a resident survey, we had our project website. We actually engaged different age groups. Some of our staff engaged some of the high school students to get their feedback, but we also engaged the council or the Center for Aging as well with an exercise with them. We also were at we had a booth at the county fair last year, and then 2 open houses back in March. One was here and one was at the high school just north of here. On the next slide. So this is your current plan. So your current plan was actually only done about 5 years ago in 2020. It was last updated in 2020. So you actually do have a plan in place. Most counties and municipalities have plans, and I'll actually walk you through that in the next couple of slides, but you'll actually see on the right-hand side, that's your current future land use plan, and I'll actually show how that compares to what we're presenting for the current update for 2025. And usually, even though some people ask, why would you update it 5 years after the current one's done? Oftentimes we recommend that communities update it every 3 to 5 years, even if it's small changes. So you're actually on task to kind of be updating it in that 5-year span. And a lot's changed since then. So we wanted to make sure that we cover that in this update for 2025. So the next slide. So this is the current draft land use plan for 2025. But we're going to show you 2 different options. And honestly, there could be multiple options, that we landed on 2 for right now, just to give a sense of what the land use configuration for the county could look like over the next 10, 20 years. But the way that we came across to update the plan was we looked at various different things. We looked at your current land use plan. Again, that was done in 2020. We looked at your zoning map, which was last updated last year in 2024. But we also looked at some of the municipalities here in Boone County also updated their land use plans as well. Belvedere and Poplar Grove actually just updated theirs last year in 2024. So that was really instrumental to really update the plan so that there's some differences between what we're presenting today for the update and what you have now from your 2020 plan. And then input throughout. We had the task force, county staff, and county officials really helped build that as well. On the next slide. So again, the 2 graphics that you see on the right-hand side of the slide, on the top is the future land use plan for Belvedere, where we are now. And then on the bottom right corner is the future land use plan for Poplar Grove. And again, the thing about this was that in 2020, when you last updated your plan, you didn't have these plans in place because these were just done in 2024. But now that we have these, we really can understand what the municipalities are thinking about land uses around them. Belvedere and Poplar Grove are your most populous communities in the county. So that kind of creates this measuring stick in terms of what do they have planned, and that can really kind of help you as a county figure out what you think you should do, particularly in unincorporated areas, which you have jurisdiction over. And that's the rest of. So on the next slide, this is the comparison of the different land use plans. So the one on the far left That's your current plan from 2020 with kind of the dark green splotches on it. And then the two on the right are the two options that we're presenting as updates for 2025. Option A is in the middle, and then option B is on the far right-hand side. And I'll walk you through what the major differences are between those two options. So on the next slide. So again, the main difference between options A and B is where we're locating your residential growth area. So right now in option A, which is the first map on the left, most of the residential growth area, we're mostly concentrating south of Belvedere. If you see that purple band just south of Belvedere, we're all familiar with what that is. That's the commercial and industrial corridor right along the interstate. So in this option A, that's where we're concentrating some of the residential growth. But when we had the open house back in March, we heard a lot that that wasn't the most appropriate spot for it. So that's why we came out with option B, which is rather than putting the residential south of that industrial band, we're putting it north of Belvedere, closer to the high school, the school campuses, and also to a lot of that unincorporated residential areas between Belvedere and Poplar Grove. So that's the main differences between the different land use maps. And in terms of differences between what you did in 2020 and what we're recommending today, if you go to the next slide, I'll walk you through the map comparisons. So comparing the 2020 land use plan to what we're updating for 2025, we're recommending less residential development than you did in 2020 in unincorporated areas. And a lot of that was guided by the land use plans that Belvedere and Poplar Grove just approved last year. In their land use plans, they did not have as much residential growth around the municipal boundaries as your 2020 land use plan showed. So we scaled that back in terms of residential development. We also provide a greater distinction between residential land uses rather than just having just one land use category for residential. We actually have three different land use categories, just so there's a greater distinction between different levels. There's exurban, which is basically any residential that's immediately around a community, like just immediately around Belvedere. And then we have rural residential, which is slightly outside that exurban boundary. And then we have farmsteads, which is a very unique category because it's, as we all know, that's usually where someone who owns agricultural property will often live in that unit, but also have other building structures on their property. So we wanted to make that distinction. And when in the 2025 update, we're also focusing more on agricultural preservation, open space conservation, and also protection of water resources. That was one thing that we heard quite a bit about and learned quite a bit about in terms of how to really make sure that fair balance between development, whether it's residential, industrial, commercial development, but also making sure that you're preserving that agricultural spaces, those farms, and conserving those open spaces. And when you conserve those spaces, whether it's agriculture or green spaces, you can really start helping to protect your water resources, which we know is a valuable resource, but it's also not it's not an infinite resource as well. So in the plan that we'll present to staff later this summer, we'll have a lot more strategies in terms of how to protect water while also balancing that with development as well. And then the last bullet point is just maintaining that band of commercial and industrial south of Belvedere as well. I think the last slide is just some other considerations about the land use plan. One thing that we heard from the task force and community members was that there needed to be some residential development to support North Boone County, the school district 200 up there in terms of providing some more development to support the students up there or the school district up there. Mayor Capron was here earlier. And he actually looked at the land use plan and provided his support for the amount of residential that we showed. We actually scaled back a little bit than what we showed before in 2020, or what was shown in 2020. But what we did add to that residential development around Capron was adding a little bit more business, which can also include healthcare, because what we heard from the task force was that those were necessary uses, not necessarily for Capron as a community, but just that part of the county and that part of the region of the broader area. Other things that we looked at was you do have designated agriculture areas designated by state from 1992 and 1990. If you look back on the map, that's the orange and purple hatch marks that you see on the map. We also talked to your county engineer about long-range county roadway improvements that will play a part in this land use strategies as well. And then just continue to work again on protecting open spaces and expanding the trails in your community. And I think that's it.
So I know that you did have some exhibits.
Jessica, I need you to use your microphone.
I know you had some exhibits, right, Todd? I
Yes.
don't know how you wanted to do this with this agenda being.
Yeah, so we did bring exhibits that we could put on easels, and we could either put it on the table or back here, but we also recognize you have a pretty packed agenda as well. So, and I'm not sure how much bigger it would be for you to look at it from where you're seated, or if it would be helpful to come up to the exhibits and interact with them closer. But again, it's up to you if you want us to set it up.
I could suggest that if it's okay that we keep them here in the
For sure.
sport room.
Yeah.
And then potentially everyone can visit along the way, and hopefully the next couple weeks. And you can stop in and ask questions or maybe make some suggestions or.
So we also have Post-it notes and pens that we can leave with you. And if people want to make comments about certain properties or areas that they want to change or see preserved, that'd be perfect. So,
Right.
yeah.
That sounds okay.
Yep, sounds wonderful.
Yeah. I really appreciate all the work, Todd. I know that you're putting that together, so I want to make sure we put it all out for everybody.
Yeah, you can definitely keep them. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Next up, we have Administration Committee. Talking with Mr. Curry, since he is remote, I'm going to run admin for him. So it'll be just a little bit different than it is normally. I would ask for a motion to approve the engagement letter from Spear Financial Incorporated for the services as municipal advisor in connection with the issuance of bonds. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Regano. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Matt Regano,
Yes.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Wahlberg,
Aye.
Rodney Riley.
Aye.
Motion carries. I would ask for a motion to approve the agreement with Nixon Peabody LLP for legal services, general obligation, alternate revenue source bonds, series 2026 at a cost of $25,000. Motion by Mr. Thornberry. Is there a second? By Mr. Regano. Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Wahlberg,
Aye.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Matt Regano.
Aye.
Okay,
Motion carries. Next, I would ask for a motion to approve section 25XX000-02-GM material quotations to unit prices provided. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
By Mr. Riley, seconded by Mr. Regano. Thank you. Crone, you want to touch on that at all, or?
They want to start on Mondays or Tuesday.
Okay. Any questions? This was, who was this that was low on this one?
Rock Road.
Rock Road was on this
Oh,
one.
I'm sorry. Which one are we on? Oh, materials, I'm sorry. So materials, we would accept all bids as provided.
That's right. You use them wherever you're closest. Where's most beneficial. Yep. Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Okay. Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker, David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walbert,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
Aye.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, I'd ask for a motion to approve section 25XX000-01-GM road resurfacing contract to low bidder Rock Road Companies in the amount of $1,422,841.83. Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second? By Mr. Thornberry. Thank you. Any discussion? One item of note, I'm going to abstain on this as Rock Road does business with my sister company to the north. Call, please.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
Aye.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
You're gonna abstain.
Abstain.
Yep, I'm not gonna call you. Okay.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve section 25-XX000-00-GM road resurfacing contract to low bidder Rock Road Companies in the amount of $1,901,110.78. Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second?
Sorry, yes.
Riley.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on that one? Once again, I'll be abstaining on this one. Roll call, please.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
Aye.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Josh Shoemaker.
Yes.
And one abstention.
Yes.
Motion carries. You think I missed something?
I thought you confused the two.
Okay. Good. All right, next up. I'd ask for a motion to approve IDOT temporary use permit / utility easement for force main sanitary sewer from IDOT down Animal Services Access Drive to Squaw Prairie. Is there a motion for that?
So moved.
By Mr. Riley. Is there a second? By Mr. Thornberry. Thank you. Mr. Crone.
The document will also have the language added to it that IDOT will need to go through the federal compensation process to compensate us for this right away.
Okay. Is there any other discussion or questions?
We do a roll call just because of
Okay.
financial obligation.
Roll call, please.
Alyssa Patterson.
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
Aye.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next up, I'd ask for a motion to approve resolution 25-18, a resolution to reduce the number of Illinois Route 76 intersections from 3 intersections to 1 intersection. Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second? By Mr. Shoemaker. Discussion. Mr. Crone, anything to add? We can do a voice vote on this, can't we?
Yes.
This will be a voice vote, not to catch Elisa by surprise. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. Next, I'd ask for a motion to approve Resolution 25-17, supporting zero roadway fatalities safety target.
Almost
By Mr. Riley.
that motion, lofty goal, but
Seconded by Mr. Regano.
sorry.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. We have nothing else for admin. Mr. Wahlberg, Finance.
Thank you, Chairman. Move to approve the claims in the amount of $594,994.55, with the understanding that Carl Johnson abstains from voting on all claims presented by William Charles, Boone, Illinois Service Company, Core Maine, all claims submitted by the Boone County Highway Department, and all claims submitted by any county department regarding sewage, storm water, construction.
Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Riley. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ronnie Riley.
Aye.
Matt Regano.
Aye.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Carl Johnson.
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker.
Yes.
David Wiltsey.
Aye.
Ryan Curry.
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson.
Yes.
Tom Wahlberg.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Wahlberg.
11, to approve the media conversion agreement from Fielder Technology Incorporated in the amount of $140,926.18. This expense will be paid from the county clerk and recorder's automation fund.
Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second?
Second.
By Mr. Shoemaker. Discussion. Mr. Riley.
Going to bring us totally up to date. Another lofty goal, right, Becky?
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Matt Regano.
Yes.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Carl Johnson.
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker.
Yes.
David Wiltsey.
Aye.
Ryan Curry.
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson.
Yes.
Tom Wahlberg.
Aye.
Ronnie Riley.
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Wahlberg.
11.3, I move to approve the ordinance 2508. Authorization.
09.
Sorry.
25-09, authorizing the issuance of $7,500,000 general obligation alternate bonds for the purpose of financing capital improvements.
Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second? By Mr. Riley. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
David Wiltsey.
Aye.
Ryan Curry.
Yes.
Alyssa Patterson.
Yes.
Tom Wahlberg.
Aye.
Ronnie Riley.
Aye.
Matt Regano.
Aye.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Carl Johnson.
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Wahlberg.
11.4, motion. I move to approve the low bid from Scandrolli Construction in the amount of $4,184,481 for the base bid, and alternates 1 and 3 in the amount of $26,625 for the renovation in addition to the Health Department Administration campus.
Motion by Mr. Wahlberg. Is there a second? By Mr. Thornberry. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alyssa Patterson.
Yes.
Tom Wahlberg.
Aye.
Ronnie Riley.
Aye.
Matt Regano.
Aye.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Walberg.
7.5, I move to approve the quote from MAC Locations for $8,050 to relocate storage items from Midland Bank back to the courthouse basement.
Motion by Mr. Walberg. Is there a second by Mr. Regano? Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Marion Thornberry,
Yes.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Rodney Riley,
Aye.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Melissa Patterson,
Yes.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye. Motion carries. Mr. Walberg.
11.6 is the Midland Bank rental agreement. Becky, you spoke about it.
Sure. I just put this on here just to be able to give you an update. I did walk through the Midland space with the health department and some of the key staff earlier today. They do feel that that space could work. It might not be big enough for the entire office. However, right across the hall, there is another space that's also available. So I have reached out to Midland to see what the chances are of us being able to rent that space and what they would charge us for that. So I'll have more to bring back to you by the June admin meeting.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions for Becky on that? Okay. Mr. Walberg.
11.7. I move to approve the dental insurance renewal with Northern Illinois Health Plan as proposed.
Motion by Mr. Walberg. Is there a second? By Mr. Thornberry. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
Aye.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Melissa Patterson,
Yes.
Ryan Curry,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mr. Walberg, anything else?
I think that will complete it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, next up, committee reports. Excuse me, community building, and would be Dana Logston, and he is not here. UCCI, Becky, anything?
I do not, we're still, if you're interested in going to the annual meeting in Galena, that's that last, I think it's July 30th, August 1st, 2nd, right in there. Always a good time. So let Michelle or I know if you would like to attend.
Perfect, thank you. Community Action Agency, I don't think we have anybody there. 911, Mr. Regano is going to let me know if he'd like to join that board for us. Land Bank, Ms. Gieske was here and she didn't want to stick around with us, so I don't think she's online, is she?
No, negative.
Okay, any other committees? Scheduling of committees. Mr. Walberg.
Okay. June 12th, 6 p.m. Finance.
There we go, perfect. Mr. Curry, I got you here unless you have it. Admin is June.
Nope, go right ahead.
All right, admin is June 5th, 6 p.m. in this room. And the county board will be June 19th. No, I'm sorry, June, did we put it to the 6th? June 26th.
Juneteenth.
6:30 p.m. this room. We don't need an executive, do we?
I kind of wanted a personnel issue. So I would make a motion to go into executive session for personnel.
Motion to go into executive session to talk about personnel. Is there a second? By Mr. Thornberry. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Carl Johnson,
Aye.
Josh Shoemaker,
Yes.
David Wiltsey,
Aye.
Brian Curry,
Yes.
Melissa Patterson,
Yes.
Tom Walberg,
Aye.
Ronnie Riley,
Aye.
Matt Regano,
Aye.
Marion Thornberry.
Yes.
Motion carries. We're in executive session. I have some updates for informational items. If you didn't, well, let me step back just a touch. Monday evening, myself, Mr. Curry and Mr. Wahlberg attended the Belvedere City Council meeting, or I'm sorry, committee meeting of a whole, as a whole, however they do that. As the permit fee was on the agenda, we were under the impression that because we were on the agenda as an agenda item, we did not need to sign in to public comment in order to speak on that item. However, apparently that isn't the case. So we got to listen to the mayor talk for 5 minutes or so, express his feelings regarding the whole issue. You can watch those on Belvedere City Council meeting minutes or however they do that. And then that was it. So it was never brought as a question to the council. Later it was expressed that nobody from the council made a motion, so they just moved on. Although it was never brought up, it wasn't even on the agenda as though it was a question. Even though the letter that I sent did ask that they put it on to reconsider and to waive those fees, but that wasn't really mentioned. So what we're doing from here is staff is working on a letter that we're going to send to all council members and to the mayor, asking that they put it back on the agenda for the next committee meeting, which would be a week from Monday. It's coming Monday, so in a week and a half. And at that time, I will attend and I will sign up for public comments so that at the minimum, I at least have an opportunity to ask the council members to please consider waiving those fees for the benefit of the community as a whole. In the meantime, I would ask that members of this board try to refrain from any personal attacks on any social media platforms. Let's kind of stay away from that if we can. I know sometimes it stinks to have people throwing darts at you and to ignore it, but personally, I ignore it because I don't even look at it. So, but that would be my ask, my request. Let's see how this plays out in the next 2 weeks. And hopefully we get a better resolution. And if not, then we will bring all this information back to this board at that time, and then we'll decide as a board what we do from there and how we work to recoup those expenses in any way we can. Because at some point, we either have to decide we're going to pay more for our projects, we're going to cut our projects, or we're going to find a way to recoup that money some way, somehow. So that's kind of the things we'll have to look at, especially this project here. This one's already considerably over budget. To add another $100,000 to that overage is going to be tough. So what do we do is what we're going to have to take a look at. Any questions or comments, Mr. Wahlberg?
I think we were at, it was 211,000, correct?
For the courthouse. Just the courthouse. Yeah, the courthouse was 211,000. That's already been paid. This, the permit for this project has not been paid. And then any future permit for the transportation facility hasn't been paid yet. So.
In the basement of the PSB.
Oh, in the basement of the PSB. So, I mean, we're all in all, we're looking at potential building permit fees of, 350,000 roughly. Those are just rough estimates. Could be less, could be more. So, yeah, it's considerable. It's things that we're going to really have to take a look at.
Do we have excuse me, Mr. Chairman?
Sure, Mr. Curry.
Do we have any kind of cost estimate on the way we will recoup and how much we can recoup through all of the programs that we offer to the city?
I think that's going to take a little bit of time for staff to really take a look at. And I don't want to try to get into those weeds until we have to. Obviously there's some things that we can recoup some funds by. There's shared expense at the public safety building that if we have to charge the city for, we will. That wasn't our intention originally, to charge the city for those improvements, but if we have to, we will. To me, it seems ludicrous to just keep moving money from one bucket to the other and back to another bucket. None of this helps the overall county taxpayer one iota. And I think somehow it's getting lost in translation that just because you live in the city of Belvedere, you don't pay county taxes. Well, you do. Everybody that lives in the city pays county taxes too. So it's part of one large community, and we have to find a way, hopefully, to move beyond this, to figure this out and to be able to work together, because there's a lot of great things that can happen. And if there's a big rift between the county and the city, that could impact those potentially good things coming, because businesses can go anywhere they want in the world to set up their shop. They don't want to go to somewhere where there's political strife. Makes no sense for them. So everything we can do, we need to do. And if that means, as chairman, I have to say, hey, look, okay, my bad. Maybe I did this wrong. Maybe we did this wrong as a board, and we approached this the wrong manner. I'll take that heat, blame it on me, but let's do what's right by the taxpayer. That's the important part. And that's where we need to focus.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Mr. Wiltsey.
we're out of executive session, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I just want to remind members that we're strategizing out of executive session, and that probably should not be done.
I don't know that we're necessarily strategizing, but I mean,
still want to tip our hand, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but yeah. All right, Mr. Wahlberg.
Thank you, Chairman. No, and I appreciate your comments there, Mr. Wiltsey, but I think this is an important conversation that we express this transparency, with the community. I too was disappointed at the meeting Monday for not getting the opportunity to speak. Obviously, again, I can take responsibility for that, for our misunderstanding of how their meetings were run, which is much different than maybe how we run the county board or other meetings that we participated in. If you're on the agenda, typically, the applicant or the individual being talked about gets the opportunity to speak. Unfortunately, we weren't able to be recognized and we're not given that opportunity. So we'll take the blame for that, for that misunderstanding. But I would encourage, county board members or anybody that feels strongly about this to please attend the city council meeting and sign up to speak at public comment and to express your concerns. Or if you, have these relationships with these other folks, whether it be council members or other individuals in the city or across the county that feel the same way you do, encourage them to speak up, because I feel like the public opinion is on our side on this one. I really do. And it's just unfortunate that, like you said, Mr. Chairman, that perhaps we mishandled it appropriately from the beginning. There was miscommunication. However, I can accept all that. To not try to make this right now would be very unfortunate. So, and that's my comments.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Mr. Riley?
I think bottom line, this is short and sweet. We have a chairman. He needs to do the communicating for the most part. I think if any board member has the inkling to go on social media or anything else with your thumbs, I would suggest you sit on your hands, because it's not doing this board or our taxpayers one bit of good. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah. I suggest that the vice chairman actually do his part and show up to those meetings as well. Thank you.
All right, anything else, anyone? All right, I think I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Mr.
So
Thornberry.
moved.
Mr. Wiltsey, the motion, Mr. Thornberry, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Don't fight over it, boys.
Motion carries. We are adjourned at 8:21 PM. Thank you, everyone, for your participation this evening. Kind of a long
Thank you,
agenda.
Mr. Chairman.
Rodney, if you got something you want to call me about, you can.